Welcome back, everybody. This is the thejonnymar, and I am continuing with Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. So in my last episode, we went through the second palace of the game, and now we're going to head into the infamous Death Mountain. So obviously this is a staple of Legend of Zelda games, and is of course a very difficult area of this particular game as well. The difficulty curve here is going to go up substantially. So we take on some of the enemies here that we've seen before and some new ones as well. And then of course some palette swaps and some harder versions of enemies too. So our goal is to get through Death Mountain as quickly as possible. I'm going to show you the most efficient way to get through the mountain and get out the other side. And we do have to go through here because it is the next area of the game that we have to proceed through. And it is also the area of the game where we will get another special item. Where we will be able to get some shortcuts that we can go back to previous areas and also get a few more items that we need. So many of these enemies do have particular patterns that you can utilize in order to minimize the damage you're taking. I will be using shield throughout many of the screens, and that is simply because I do want to minimize the damage I do take. And you frequently will get blue potions from a lot of these smaller enemies if this one will cooperate. And so you can recover about 1 bar of your magic meter. Ow. And so if you do use shield in each different scene that you go through... Oh man, how'd I miss? Then a blue potion will give you back the magic that you're missing, as noted. Alright. If you continue to move those bats with you to the right here, you can actually despawn this enemy. Found that out on a previous playthrough. But we wanted that enemy because we wanted the experience. Our goal while heading through here, and this is one of my least favorite scenes in this particular area, and it's because I do not like these bonefish. They are very annoying. They will take experience points away if they hit you, and they will, of course, shoot you with a lot of fireballs as well. But we want to get up to Magic 5 and Life 5 as well before we get to the next dungeon, which is the Island Palace. And this is a really annoying enemy. We have to jump over his little axes. It's pretty easy when he's only throwing one at a time. And we'll take that pea bag for some extra experience. You can use the jump spell to get up to that red potion if you want. We're going to try to kill these enemies and then move on. We don't actually need that red potion. We're doing okay. And then that is ultimately where we want to get, is to the eastern side of Death Mountain. After we've cleared out this entire area and we've gotten the special item, which is the magic hammer. And interestingly, when we get to the lower area below Death Mountain, we're going to see what used to be the area from the first Legend of Zelda game. But first we have to get through a lot of enemies. A lot of these key spats, many of these axe-wielding enemies as well. We're almost there. We just have a couple more areas to get through. And we got some red slime enemies here. The bots, I guess. These guys can be timed. If you wait until they swing at you, you can then quickly dash forward and duck down and hit them in the head without taking too much damage. These red ones don't like to jump as much as the blue ones, so they don't come up to your level as often. Let's see if we can hit these guys without taking too much damage. Their heads kind of look like alligators, but obviously they're not, I don't believe. And then I believe we only have one more area to get through, and then we'll come out down there in that southern area, which again is the location of the first Legend of Zelda game, allegedly. So I'll be showing that off by putting a map over it so you can see. But that was kind of the crux of the situation. The idea was the first Legend of Zelda game on the NES was supposed to be in a much smaller area, and then this particular game is supposed to be in a much larger area of... I don't know if it's all Hyrule or if it's beyond Hyrule. But obviously in the original we didn't really have towns, just the dungeons and then NPCs and caves. We're going to leave that red potion in case we need it. But it's dangerous to go alone, so you should grab the sword down here if you're in the first game. And then obviously we have all of the area here we have Death Mountain, Spectacle Rock, the Hidden Forest, the Lost Forest down there, and then of course the cemetery as well. All areas that I did explore in my original Legend of Zelda playthrough that I did not too long ago. I guess it's actually quite a while ago at this point when I'm recording this video. Doesn't feel like that long ago, but it was many years ago. And then we got some of these red ones, the enemies that are very similar to, in my opinion, the demons from Ghosts and Goblins. The red adders or whatever they're called. An adder is a snake, but I don't remember what it was called, the red demon, or the enemy in the original Ghosts and Goblins that would chase you around and hit you. We are almost to the magic hammer here, just a couple more screens to go through. We do want to head down. I'm gonna, again, try to get a little bit more experience here. We do want to get our magic up to level 5 as well. And there's enough enemies here that it's pretty easy to kill them and get that experience. So again, I'm not really showing all the paths here in Death Mountain. A lot of them are just roundabout ways. They take you through the same sorts of areas over and over again. Pretty easy to get lost if you're not careful. In general, as long as you head to the east and down when given options, you will get through the Death Mountain pretty easily. And this area has 2 of these red enemies, so we're going to hop over their axes. And again, sometimes they will throw 2 axes in very quick succession, so it's pretty easy to get hit then. And then we do have another one over here, and then these really annoying enemies that we can't actually hit yet. I mean, you can hit them, but you have to jump and kind of hold down in order to... Okay, let's kill this guy to stab them. They're a lot easier to kill once you get the down stab, which we'll be getting in this episode as well. So for now, I'm just going to skip them. This area has a red potion. So again, it's not essential, it's not where we need to go, but I figured I was pretty low on health and magic. So we'll use our little trick here to recover our magic and also our health at the same time. And then most of these enemies do stay dead. So yeah, if you jump at these enemies and then hold down and stab at the same time, you can sometimes hit them, but again, it's not for sure. We have to head all the way to the right here, and then we will find the magic hammer. Of course, we have to have some bottomless pits here for instant death, and then these enemies. So I'm going to hopefully let this guy just jump to his doom. And then we will progress onward. And then in this last area, I think we have a couple more enemies to get through. So I'll use a quick shield spell. And then once I grab the magic hammer, I'll just take an axe to the face, why not? I will head out of this particular cave, and I'll meet you outside, and then we will head into Spectacle Rock, or the Approximation. Nice, a red potion. And we'll grab a little hidden item. So there's our magic hammer. We're not going to be punching posts in this game, but we will use it to break rocks. So we came out here, we're going to bust through this particular rock, drop in, and that will give us another magic power up here, increasing our magic bar length by another slot. And then we're going to get out of this area. Now you can just die, and that'll take you all the way back to the palace with Zelda. And you can then use the magic hammer to get through the rocks in the previous areas to continue onward. I don't want to do that because obviously I'm hoping to go this entire playthrough without having to see a game over screen. This is a horrible area. Very easy to get hit by these Octoroks or whatever they are and knocked into the pits. So I need to be very careful here. Because again, it is instant death. We don't just lose half a heart like in other Zelda games if we fall into lava or bottomless pits. But we did it. We got through Death Mountain, one of the worst areas in the game. Surprisingly, there is no cave in this area. You just immediately head to the outside, and then we have to cross another bridge. So we have some of these spear guys. I probably should have gone. And I'm going to get that because obviously we used our shield spell. And then we're going to have a blue one. Now they won't actually get you as long as you are standing. If they throw their spear at you, it'll just bounce off your shield, but they can still hit you with their spear. And then of course we have bubbles and another red of these enemies. You saw the 2 axes there in quick succession. Because we are at 6 attack, we can take them out with just 2 hits. If you're at a much lower attack, obviously it's going to take you a little bit longer. And then we do have another extra life down here. Now again, some people save all the extra lives for when they're doing the final dungeon of the game. I don't plan on dying, so I'm just collecting them all now. I mean, I may die at some point, but I don't plan on game overing. The key is that if you game over, you lose all those extra lives and you can't recollect them. As we have another little cemetery here. You do not want to get into a fight on the cemetery. The enemies you'll face in there are really difficult to beat. So we're going to head into the next town, and then I'm going to save because I'm playing the Switch version of this game. And then we'll explore Mido! So here we have the town of Mido. We're going to recover our health and our magic as well, and then we actually have 2 things we can do in this town. We have a special attack ability we can acquire, and then we also have a spell we can acquire that we'll need in order to access the 3rd dungeon in the game, the Island Palace. Sorry, I know nothing. No one is here, but a church bell will ring. Interesting. Wonder if that's relevant to anything. Probably, right? And this guy is important if you do want to get a little more dialogue out of Error back in Rudo. So he'll say, talk to Error, and you'll learn about the next palace, the Island Palace. A lot of people think Error was just, you know, that memeable statement, I am Error, but he actually does tell you how to get to the Island Palace as well. And this little kid helps too by saying it's to the south, and that there's a raft there. Sorry. But this is weird, right? We just have a church with an open door. Hello, young lady and old lady or old man, whatever you are. The door is locked, but if we use the jump spell, we can get up to that opening up there, and then we can go inside. So this should look typical. Usually when we enter a house, it looks roughly the same. We're going to head down, but instead of finding an old bearded man, this time we're going to find a knight. A powerful knight who will teach us a new ability, which is one of the strongest abilities in the game, the down stab. So all you have to do is hold down when you're jumping, and you will put your sword below you, and now you can hit enemies from above. Which works really well on all enemies except those that resist your sword, and of course those who are wearing helmets. But we do have one more thing we can do in this town. Unfortunately, we do not have the item to finish it, because unlike the previous town where we just had to go over a screen in order to find that special item, in this town we actually have to go find it in a different area. So this old person will come out of the house, we'll talk to them, and they note that their daughter is sick, and we need to help. And we can't go in to help them, so we have to find something to help them, and that is the Water of Life, I believe it's called, or Magic Water. So find magic in a cave in Morouge Swamp? I don't know, however it's pronounced. So that's where we're going to head next. We also have a health power-up we can get to extend our health bar. And then we want to head back to Rudo to talk to Error as well. So we'll start by getting the health upgrade. So obviously we have a boulder over there. Oh crap, we didn't get the fairy. Well, that's okay, we'll get a little bit more experience. Remember, we want to get to Magic 5 very soon. But now we can use our down stab to hurt these guys. So just jump above them, hold down, and you will kill them. A lot easier to kill. And it's a lot easier to kill a lot of these enemies, because you can just jump on top of them and stab down. Otherwise, you can try the old way, but of course you are risking taking damage by getting hit over and over again. Unless you're much better at this game than I am, which is entirely possible. I am certainly not the greatest at this game out there, but I can beat it. Alright, so we're going to head back to Ruto. And in Ruto, we're going to talk to Error and see what else he has to say beyond his memeable line. So we gotta head over to his house. Here is the man himself, and now he says, south of King's Tomb in Mido is a tunnel. Well, We'll have to consider that. But now we have to find the Water of Life, and in order to find that, we gotta head all the way back over here to the left. And there is a item, if you remember. There was a cave with a boulder back when we came into this area for the first time. We saw the ferry, and then we also got a extra life up here just to the southwest of this boulder. But now we can actually head in because we have the magic hammer. And we gotta deal with more of these bonefish, and some of these as well. Alright, well, we got a power bag out of that. I'm gonna keep making the mistake of jumping into these guys and taking damage as well as losing some experience. And this is a mean room. Usually you can hit these guys similar to Staphos by just ducking down, but then we have a red one. It's like, okay, we got this red enemy to take care of. We killed him, so that's great. Now we're going to move on. And unfortunately, we have another red one. You thought it was just going to be one, but no. And we got our magic upgrade. So we are all set to head into Palace 3 then, the Island Palace. And we got the Water of Magic. So now we're back in Mido with the magic water, or water of magic, or healing water, or whatever it's called. The Water of Life, apparently. And that is our side quest here to get our latest spell. So we're going to head in. The old person, I guess, took their daughter somewhere else. They're never in the house when we go in after them. And here is the wise person for this particular village. This magic word will give you power. Ooh, what kind of power? Great power? Fire? Lightning? The fairy spell. Woo! So that allows us to turn into a fairy, as you might expect. Again, we do not want to get into a battle scene on the cemetery. But we're going to head down to the south here from Mido, and there is, of course, a place called King's Tomb. And this was actually changed between the Japanese version and the American version. So we have this suspicious single frame here, and this is King's Tomb. And on the Japanese version, it looked quite a bit different. For some reason, they did change it up, as you'll see on the screenshot here. But interestingly, I'll show you on this other file, that if you head down into the south and the west, there is a scene in this area that's very similar to the Japanese version. It's just not where King's Tomb is. So they added a new screen for King's Tomb, but they kept basically the same area, just without the pillars, with the red potion and everything, and just decided to change King's Tomb to something a little different. Not sure why they did that, but they did. But now we're going to head directly south from King's Tomb. We're going to stab this guy from above, and then this is where we need to use our fairy spell for the first time. So fairy allows you to turn into a fairy to go places you can't go normally, even with the jump spell. The second thing it can do is actually pass through doors that are locked. So if you don't have a key, or if you want to bypass and not find a key in a palace, you can actually use the fairy spell to get through certain doors. Now, it is pretty expensive to use, so it's still more efficient to just get the keys, but it is an option to you. And then we're going to head over to the third palace, the Island Palace, and in my next episode we will take it on and try to finish our third area, drop off our third crystal, and then end the particular questing here in this area of Hyrule. So as always, viewers, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you all next time. So long! Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and leave a comment below. Please also subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell. See you next time!